Peace, peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Agua. Connecting with the Halloween energies. Now, before I even get into this, we're connecting with, again, certain gods or deities. These are energetic representations or archetypical representations of energies that exist within you. So this is not to worship this energy, but to connect with it in the aspect of knowing that this energy exists inside of you and that you're activating this inner energy by working with it externally. Because what an altar is, then alter your conscious, alter is to work with the symbols. As you work with the symbols of doing your altar work, it works with the subconscious and activating things in the subconscious of when you put out, some glasses with a lens missing, the inner subconscious, like, all right, I'm working with that gate A energy, I'm working with that crossroad energy, I'm putting out some candy, I'm working with that that gate A, or also Baron Samedi energy, because right now is a great time to work with the Baron Samedi and Maman Brigitte energy, which is dealing with the crossroads. Because again, what Halloween is when the veil, I put thin and veil together, when the veil becomes so thin to where we are strongly connecting with our ancestors, especially our earthly plane ancestors who transition from out of their body suits, and is transitioning through that other realm, or that quote unquote underworld. And hence the Halloween aspect with the costumes was because they wore costumes to allow for the ancestors to come and party without being seen in that sense, because again, if we all wearing costumes, we won't know or see that, oh, that's Mama here dancing with us, or that's Uncle so and so, or Auntie so and so, or whoever, cousin so and so, and again, using cousin, auntie, and all that, but for the understanding of it, like again, like where our ancestors will walk amongst us, again, the veil was so thin that it allowed for them to walk amongst us, and hence where the costumes come from. But right now, again, connecting with the Baron Samedi, Maman Brigitte energy, also connecting with the snake energy, with the energy of the Kundalini, and I drew out the sigil. Go check out my video, Snakes on the Plane, to go deep into this, but the Leviathan symbol. And again, like how the snake, connection with the snake represents wisdom. What I'm saying? Connecting with our inner wisdom right now, and again, our inner ancestral line, because that connects us with our primordial mother energy and the Kundalini energy. So definitely, again, and create sigils of your own. I'm just giving you that universal symbol as a representation. You see how the infinity aspect was on the bottom, representing that infinite connection, like the Ouroboros or the snake eating its tail, also connected to the sexual energy, and hence why Gay Day from the Voodoo, one of the lawas from the Voodoo that's connected with Baron Samedi, is known as the obscene lawa, the lawa that deals with the sexual energy. He's always gyrating his waist and gyrating his genital area, because that's just a connection, again, like that knowledge of the connection with the sexual energy, and the aspect of quote unquote death and rebirth as well, and there's no coincidence that death and rebirth is also connected to the Scorpio energy, and the Scorpio energy is connected to the sexual energy in the genital area of our body as well. There's no coincidence. And again, Judas represents Judas from the Bible. If you want to get biblical on it, Judas from the Bible represents that Scorpio energy, hence the kiss on the cheek of quote unquote selling out Jesus. And that's the same representation of, as divine masculines, we got our Christ seed all, and that aspect of learning how to have an orgasm without ejaculating your Christ seed all. And again, though, what ejaculation and orgasms deal with is having sex. So it's like still Judas, or that Scorpio energy, could sell out your Christ energy, what I'm saying, even with in that representation on the as above, so below level as well. So also again, connecting with the dragon or the serpent energy right now is very key, because again that represents opening portals and connection again with our inner wisdom, you know. And Samhain is the name of this festival in connection with Halloween, and we want to connect with this energy, again from my inner insight, connecting with this energy from now, which the veil been thinning even before, I made this video, like the whole October, but definitely right now it's getting very, very, thin. And connecting with this energy until the winter solstice on December 21st. Speaking of December 21st, it's no coincidence that December 17th is called a feast day, and that's connected with the Baba Luaye, again, or Baron Samedi, or Saint Lazarus energy as well. And that also goes back to connection with Demeter or Demeter, the goddess within the Greek pantheon. And another goddess in the Greek pantheon to connect with is Hecate, Hecate, which I have a video on. If you type in universal frequencies in Hecate, Hecate, it'll pop up. But it again, she deals with the aspect of, she's the queen of the underworld, the moon goddess, also known as the triple moon goddess, representing those the aspect of the, what it is. It could be the waxing, waning, and full moon, or it could also be a representation of the new moon, waxing and waning moon, which again like waxing / waning, and full moon, but it's the triple moon goddess. And, we think about the moon that's connected to our emotions, our intuition. Also it has a connection to our mother energy as well, because hence why moon is connected to the Cancer zodiac sign. So being aware of that as well, not to get too lost about being controlled by these astrological connections, but again, just connecting with it and knowing that these energies exist within us first and foremost. And also I caught the insight, which I'm gonna get into, dealing with crystals, because right now again is about connecting to our ancestral lineage, and with using any of this, all this, like as far as like the crystals, that's tools. Like working with a crystal not just gonna make this energy just pop up to us in that sense. The crystal is a tool to amplify these aspects and make it more easier. Again, like using a screwdriver, instead of using your hands, a screwdriver makes it much more easier to screw in a screw. So using rose quartz in connection, if you're trying to connect more so with your mothers, like your earthly plane mother ancestral energy, and using black obsidian to connect more so with your father aspect, because it kind of has that Saturnian energy or that father aspect, But again, this is a time to, again, light up the candles, have little relics of whoever, I got like number rosary beads in connection with my father's energy and my grandmother and that whole side of the family that deals with Christianity. And remember, this ain't no aspect of going back to religion in that sense of it. Again, that's that connection. Like those ancestors dealt with that energy, and that's part of my lineage. I came into a family that was into Christianity, and just a little with my inner like insight that I just got, because I asked the question. I'm gonna get into that, but I asked like what's the connection with these lineages, and showing me like again like my connection with that Rastafari Ethiopian connection, because Ethiopian or Kush aspects was like the beginning aspects of Christianity, which later brought it to Alexandria or quote unquote Kemet or Egypt at that point, and that whole connection, and hence why part of my family was heavy Christians on my dad's side, and then also on the funeral home. So dealing with the knowledge of the afterlife and how to do things through the afterlife, and then my other family with other side, or more so my grandmother's energy from my dad's side, dealing with the Christianity aspect, and these again just relics that creates a symbology for me to connect with, but also activate and moves that ancestral energy of those the spirits of my earthly plane ancestors. So connecting with the ancestral energies, is definitely something to deal with. And again, it's about intent and focus with anything we're dealing with. Like, what's our intent and our focus, and you could ask for with a lot of the aspects again what I speak on when we're dealing with ancestral lineages, especially again because it's connected to our DNA lineage, and our DNA lineage is both our earthly aspect and then our interdimensional aspect as far as outside the bodysuit. So you know uh but more so the aspect of our human experience and like what karmic energy we're working out. So you could ask for more insight on your human experience, like uh different little questions again, like how can I line up with my soul purpose in connection with transmuting karma, or how can I transmute karma of my DNA lineage within this lifetime, what I'm saying? And again, call upon the ancestors, like ask, ancestors, I call upon you to connect with you, what I'm saying? You usually, I'm just giving you, a little aspect of it, and come to them with that gratitude and love and that good intent, and ask for, for connection with those divine ancestors, to come forward, You could ask them to give you a message, again, like, can you send me a message that would best benefit me in my moment, you know what I'm saying? And that's a broad aspect, but again, you could ask, little questions about, like, uh, with my earthly plane DNA lineage, how could I line up with sustaining myself more easily, you know what I'm saying, and being more abundant in this human experience, in certain aspects like that. And also again, like on the altar aspect, putting out little foods or little trinkets that has a connection with certain ancestors. Again, like more so with your earthly plane ancestors. And if you know of some that ain't kosher related, I think of Marie Laveau with my connection, and Marie Laveau dealt with doing hair and stuff like that. So you could put out like hairdressing little relics or whatever, And also speaking of relics and stuff like that, also calling upon the Greek or Roman aspect, because again, whether it's Greek or Roman, oh, that was the European stuff and this and that, because I know how some quote unquote black people or melanated people get crossed up in these aspects of these names. And even myself, I've done it before. I went through my little fuck Jesus aspect, but again, realizing like, yeah, it's not about the fake Jesus, but still, connecting with the Christ energy. And again, like with me with these rosary beads, I'm not going to church or none of that and about to worship nothing. It's just that connection with the ancestral lineage, and because again, we'll block ourselves from getting certain answers and insights by blocking ourselves from certain things just because of name, you know what I'm saying? So the aspect of Hephaestus, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Hephaestus, that's in the Greek aspect, and then Vulcan, Vulcan, from the Roman aspect, and that was the god that helped to empower weapons with magical energy. So you could ask for, call upon that energy, you know what I'm saying, access that energy within and direct it towards put more magical energy into it could be like a ring that you wear or a necklace that you deal with, and the intention and setting the intention to put a certain type of power within that, that and again, we say weapon for lack of a better word, but it could be any type of little relic or whatever, because again, like, a ring you wear, a necklace, in technicality is like a quote unquote spiritual weapon in that sense. So calling upon that energy within to come forth, and to set more magical energy into your weapons. And also I did a video about connecting with Marie Laveau. She amplifies the energy of magic rituals. Again, this is inner gnosis. This is nothing that I got from a book. I caught, download came to me that she helps in connection with amplifying your magic, especially ritualistic magic, and dealing with altar work. So calling upon that Marie Laveau energy. Also, connecting with the aspect of tobacco is definitely something that'll invoke that ancestral energy. Or again, pouring some liquor up for Uncle so and so or somebody, like a certain beer or a certain drink. You know what I'm saying? Pour that up. You know, yeah, basically, and also crystals to work with at this time. From my own experience, petrified wood, red jasper, lapis lazuli, black obsidian, and jet is some great crystals to work with. You know, when connecting with the ancestral lineage, and any crystals from the copper family, because the copper family is also a part of the carbon family. Because again, you think about carbon, you think about the melanin aspect, and carbon, again makes up mostly all things within this earthly plane. So diamond is basically carbon. Shungite, jet, and amber, and again from malachite, azurite, turquoise, like any of the chrysocolla, shatukite, Elite stone, with all these crystals that deal with the copper family, dealing with that carbon energy, and also calcium, the calcium family, because again the calcium crystals help for connection with the DNA, and in connection with being in our bone marrow. And I did a video on epidote and preonite in connection with the calcium energies and the DNA lineage. So definitely epidote and preonite. No coincidence that epidote and preonite is that combination, but definitely preonite more so too, in amplifying your abilities to have insight during divination. When you're doing again like tarot card readings, or astrology readings, or whatever it may be, it amplifies that energy of insight. But calcium crystals, and just to name a few others: Larimar, apatite, which is has a high calcium content, apophyllite, calcite, rhodonite, and nephrite jade. Which jade, again connection with that the Asian lineage. And again, also working with a crystal that you may have got from a family member. You know what I'm saying? It'd be great to work with a crystal that come from a certain region, because there's no coincidence of what crystals you work with or have been given within your lifetime. You know what I'm saying? That has some type of connection as well. And also to finish off on the calcium, and again, this is just to name a few. And I said nephrite jade, labradorite, sunstone, and sodalite. You know, and some other crystals too. Again, I named some that I worked with earlier, but then these, which I have worked with, I think about. Matter of fact, Numite is another one. Numite for sure helps to connect with that ancestral lineage and just that inner magic aspect. Again with rituals and stuff like that. Leopard skin jasper, that connects with the totem animals. But spirit guides, again, spirit guides is all the different aspects of your inner guidance. It's within you. Because even the connection to your earthly plane ancestors, like my dad, my grandmother, that energy exists within me. I'm able to tap into that energy, within me. You know what I'm saying? But I said jet, Numite, but for sure, that petrified wood, man. Petrified wood is a great one. Mystic Merlinite is another one. And again, red jasper, which I also seen bloodstone on some people list, but red jasper is in bloodstone, and red jasper and that connection with your blood. And with that being said, like, or any possible red crystals, to connect with the blood energy in general, because your blood connects with your bodysuit ancestors. So, having that aspect and connection as well. And again, you could connect with the Hecate energy, Hecate, and also again look at my video, Universal Frequencies, Hecate, and they'll pull up the Meta Hecate story. Again, I'm not gonna go through that right now, but you could, get insight, and of course by doing your own research as well. And then the Baron Samedi, aka Baba Luaye, Saint Lazarus energy, and also the Maman Brigitte energy, and Marie Laveau energy. But again, remember, these are aspects that exist within you. Also, you could listen to like Michael Jackson Thriller song, you know what I'm saying, to activate some energies as well, you know. And again, it's about actively asking the question, because the crystals not gonna do it for you, you know what I'm saying, as far as getting insight. Because again, what all this is about in the first place is knowing these dates, you know, Halloween and and the winter solstice and all this is for us to connect more with our soul and get more insight about ourselves and our earthly experience and past lives and why we've been reincarnating here and how can we work out the karmic energy of and transmute the karmic energies of why we're here, you know what I'm saying, so we don't have to keep experiencing the same lesson loops within this lifetime and have to come back and play out the same type of energies in another lifetime. We could transition into a higher plane or a higher realm by learning about these aspects within this lifetime. So that's the key to that aspect. But again, asking to connect, affirming the connection, like I am connecting with the ancestors right now. And then you can ask questions, what I'm saying, call out names like your mama or whoever, transition or whatever, call out that name, give out the ashe, give thanks, what I'm saying. Ashe basis is another word for chi or life force energy, what I'm saying. But definitely give thanks and gratitude for that connection. And again, have that intention and that focus to have a certain connection with that energy. Bring out the candles. The candles also, again, the flame from a candle helps put the brain in an alpha state. The alpha state helps to program the subconscious, so have that connection as well. But again, I'm also right now working with Tektite, Scolasite, Danbarite, Hematite, and Onyx. And also got me a big quartz crystal, because the quartz crystals also, definitely quartz crystals is good for DNA activation. Although it doesn't have a high calcium content like the other crystals I explained, it definitely has a connection with opening up that ancestral lineage. And I would say the quartz crystals would more so amplify that ancestral lineage from a interdimensional perspective as well. But again, it's all about getting answers and insights to help better ourselves on our growth. And say better, but get more of a, get more insight on our soul purpose and mastering our inner universe, knowing thyself to the fullest and the soul purpose in order to continue to, be in alignment from this moment on. But that's basically it. Again, the true insight of this holiday. Again, the veil is thin, aka the veil between this earthly realm and the quote unquote underworld. And we're connecting with that energy again. But that's basically it, y'all. Now is the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now, y'all. Peace, peace.